Hi everyone, Mon here and welcome to the channel Intuitive Soul Savant. I'm speaking to you from the east coast of Australia and it is Saturn's Day today, the 14th of March. Okay, so hello to all my Northern Hemisphere subscribers. I watched a video actually. I haven't watched it all, but I've started watching a video that was explaining that the algorithms of YouTube have changed. So even though I've got 1,000 subscribers or whatever, they're not all getting to see the videos. So I'm going to be going away in a week or so, and I'm going to have a look at another platform. I will still put the video here on YouTube, but yeah, it's looking like something's happening that isn't going to be beneficial to people who use this platform to either generate business or to share their experience or whatever people use YouTube for. Yeah, so that's a bit disappointing, but there's so many rules on here now, that are a bit sort of strange anyway, Not that I'm breaking any rules, I hope. But yeah, so things are changing. But let's get into the astrological report for this week. And it's going to be a big week, everybody. If you've individualized and done your work, there shouldn't be too much of an issue. But, if you've got attachments out there and you've got a lot of people in your life, wherever there's people, that's where we seem to have issues. Yeah, so it is a doozy of a week. But firstly, what I'd like to say, we still have the Sun, Mercury, Mars, and the nodes in Pisces. Okay, towards the end of the week, the Sun will ingress into Aries at the end of the week, around the 20th, 21st, 21st here in the east coast of Australia. So if you looked at your chart, this would be the last time for a very long time, in fact, until Jupiter actually enters Pisces, that you'll be able to work on this area of your chart with the North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo. I think that this is probably one of the most important axis polarities of astrology, because Pisces is the end. It's also the spiritual sign, and Virgo is the practical, earthy sign. So there's always so much work that can be done, even if you don't have any placements in Virgo or Pisces. But if you're born in the mid-60s, yes, you've got that access activated for sure. And what's happening this week is Mars is going to be conjuncting the North Node. And after it's conjunct the node, it is going to be activating the eclipse degrees, the eclipse of last September 2025 and the eclipse we had on the 3rd of March this year. It's around 12 degrees, 15 degrees, those mid Pisces, mid Virgo degrees. So, Mars is this last personal planet that's following behind the Sun, Venus. Venus is already into Aries. Mars is sort of lagging behind, but there's method to the madness with Mars lagging behind, because Mars is now going to activate the eclipses that we've had in Pisces and Virgo. So I really encourage everybody to, to really head down, ass up, so to speak, as far as working through what's been changing and what has been brought to your attention in the last 6 months. It's since September, or even in the last couple of years, since the nodes have been in this axis of Pisces, Virgo. So, really use this time. There is not going to be any outer planets coming to Pisces in my lifetime. And even the next time that the North Node will be in Pisces, I'll be close to 80 years of age. And you 60s borns will be that age as well. 81, 82, 79, 78, right? So this is the time to really do that inner deep work with those planets, usually Chiron and Saturn in Pisces for the 60s borns. Pluto conjunct Uranus in Virgo for the 60s borns. Right? And then Uranus is going to be moving into Gemini. So Uranus is going to be squaring Uranus in the charts of the mid-60s. Here we go again. You're not done. You may get to 60 and think, oh, look, I'm going to retire and it's all lovely. Well, no, it's not. There's work to be done. Your souls chose to incarnate in the 60s when there was many changes that went on in society and the collective, big changes in the 60s. And you were born into that time. You carry that energy. Whenever you're born, the energy of the collective at that time, you carry those energies. So it's always good to look at what went on in the collective and the changes in society that took place when you were born. You carry those energies. That's who you are. And the people that are alive are behaving or acting or responding to those energies, right? So I really encourage you. This is big stuff, So we'll just start with today. Mars is conjunct the nodes. All right. Now this happened in Australia. There's the true node and the nodes. Okay. There's a timing difference, but the nodes are sort of going retrograde, forward, retrograding back. They're jumping around a little bit, just a couple of degrees. So today, Mars activated the North Node, right? And that was sort of 9 a.m. here in Australia. So you guys are asleep when I'm making this in the Northern Hemisphere. So it'll be sort of Friday that happened for you guys. And it is at 8 degrees, 55 minutes. That's where the nodes are. So if you've got anything around that 8, 9, 10, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 degrees of the mutable signs, Pisces, Virgo, Sag or Gemini, you definitely got the nodes working in your life at the moment. Now, Sunday here, the 15th, Mercury conjuncts Mars. So we've got Mercury and Mars traveling very closely together. But remember, Mercury is retrograde, all right? So Mercury is going to be conjuncting Mars as it retrogrades, right? And that's at 10 degrees 2 minutes. This is Sunday here in Australia. It's in the evening, so it'll be early in the morning for you guys in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, Mercury will conjunct Mars again, and that will happen on the 21st of April, right? So nearly in a month, Mercury is going to conjunct Mars again, but Mercury will be moving forward, and this conjunction will be in Aries. Okay, so can you see the energy of the times, right? We've had all those personal planets moving together for months now. I think it started in Sag month, December, January, February. Here we are in March. Then in April, we're going to have all 7 of the personal traditional planets in Aries, right? And that's big time. That's big news. We've had Neptune and Saturn conjunct at the 0 degrees Aries. Now, you can see what's going on out there in the world, but zoom in to your own life and your own chart, because this is an opportunity for awakening for the collective, but also for leveling up in your personal growth and your individuation and your connection, your groundedness on this planet in these times. And the Pisces Virgo axis really, really helps with that, so that you're not rudderless out there getting tossed to and fro by the energies. You are containing the energies. They're not using you. You are using them for your personal growth and grounding. Right, so that's what's going on this week. And we also have a new moon in Pisces this week as well. We have this Mars conjunct the nodes, Mercury conjunct Mars, nothing here on Monday and Tuesday, but then Mercury conjuncts the nodes on Wednesday here in Australia. And again, Mercury conjunct the nodes on the 23rd of March when it goes direct. So this energy is not letting up. We've got a couple of weeks of the nodes, of Mercury retrograde, and then station direct, and Mars and Mercury conjuncting. Right now, what would be the obvious thing with Mars and Mercury conjunct? Well, we know that Mars is the activator, but the energy of Mars is pure, right? Full power, boom, not to 100, pure, okay? It can be unstable at times, the Mars energy. As we know, Mars rules WAR. So, you know, I believe that's what's going on out there. I don't look. I tend not to look. I don't need to look. What I'm here to do is me, and you're here to do you. And as an individual, by me doing me and you doing you, you know, we form the collective. So let's not get carried away by the insanity. Let's master this energy as individual souls on the ascension path. Yeah. So with Mars conjuncting the nodes and Mars conjuncting Mercury, with Mars activating the previous eclipses degrees, right, in both Virgo and Pisces, obviously people could lose their heads, okay? And they're speaking, right? A retrograde Mercury is all this, that, redo. Okay, but Mercury is also our communication, the structure of our thoughts, communication with each other. So that would be a number one warning, is to not allow the Mars energy and the retrograde Mercury energy to have you bursting into anger, fighting, harsh words. So we want to use this Mars energy to our benefit. We don't want to be taken out by it. So this is really important this week. Mars conjunct the nodes, Mercury conjunct Mars, Mercury conjunct the nodes. And then again on Friday, next Friday, Mercury will conjunct the nodes again. And then again on the 26th of March, right? So this whole rest of March, you know, you could say we're walking on eggshells, but we don't have to if we are in our own energy and not getting carried away with what is outside of ourselves. And that's the balance of the inner Pisces and then the service, the outwardness of Virgo. All right. Now on Thursday, the 19th here in Australia, Venus squares Jupiter. Now we had a lovely trine from Venus and Jupiter, but now we have the square. So Venus in Aries is going to be squaring Jupiter at 15 degrees and 11 minutes, but Jupiter has station direct now, all right? So, all this week with the nodes, with the communication, with the power of the Mars energy, and now we're bringing a square from Venus and Jupiter. This is relationships, Venus, yes? And squaring Jupiter, which is the expander, the larger, right? We really need to keep a check on ourselves that we don't go too far with a square from Venus to Jupiter at the 15 degrees point, all right? And Jupiter at 15 degrees with in Cancer, it actually trined those eclipse degrees, all right? So let's use the energy and keep an eye on ourselves as far as all good things, relationships, too much. We've got to be very careful with a square with Venus and Jupiter. We can take it too far, eat too much, drink too much. Also, we could go overboard in our relationships using our tongue to the detriment of the relationship with anger or criticism, okay? That Virgo energy of being overcritical. All right, so that is on Thursday, but we have the Sun sextiling Uranus at 28 degrees 15 minutes, and that is early on. They're both, the Venus square Jupiter is very early in the morning on Thursday, so that'll be Wednesday for the Northern Hemisphere. The Sun sextile Uranus, that's also early here, east coast of Australia, so that'll be Wednesday for you guys, all right? And then we come into the new moon in Pisces, and that's midday here on the east coast. So the new moon in Pisces will be the 19th here in Australia, the 18th in the Northern Hemisphere. And that's activating that new moon in Pisces at 28 degrees, 27 minutes is where we have had Neptune, Saturn retrograde, direct over these degrees. And also so late in the anaretic degrees of Pisces, it is also making a wide conjunction to Neptune and Saturn in Aries. So this is a big week in the anaretic degrees of Pisces, all right, as well as the nodes, as well as our retrograde Mercury. I know I keep going over this and repeating this, but it's really important without me catastrophizing astrology, which I don't like doing. I'm really focusing on the positives of all of this energy, that you use it for your betterment, to learn and grow, because we will not have these opportunities again in this area of our chart. These are big times, big changes, all right? So our new moon in Pisces, we'll have that, we'll have the Sun sextiling Uranus, Mercury conjuncting the nodes, Mars is activating the eclipse points, right? And then on the Saturday, when I will see you next week, we have the Sun entering Aries, and that is our equinox, yes? In the Northern Hemisphere, it will be spring, and in the Southern Hemisphere, it will be autumn. So we're coming into our cool season, and today actually is the first day that I felt like, yes, I can feel the winter coming on. And when you live in a country like Australia, after 6 months of heat, you're quite happy to spend a few months in your jumpers and your tracksuit pants. All right. As beautiful as Australia is in the summer, it does get quite hot here, yes. So next Saturday, we'll talk about that. Okay, we'll talk about that Sun entering Aries, because there's a lot. Let's just take the nodes, take Mars, take the Mercury retrograde, conjuncting the nodes, conjuncting Mars. That's all big energy, and without getting confused or thinking too much about what all the planets are doing, let's just focus on our lessons, changes that have been in our awareness in the last 6 months with the eclipses, and also since the nodes entered Pisces and Virgo. All right, because whether you're born in the 60s or not, this axis is so important to personal growth as a spiritual being experiencing a human life. Pisces, Virgo, very active. So we still have Jupiter, yes, in Cancer, direct. Uranus is in Taurus, heading it's 28 degrees and 6 minutes in Taurus. And we're finishing off that energy. We have that Sun sextile Uranus, late degrees of Pisces. Okay. And, you know, we're used to that Uranus in Taurus. We've had 7 years of that energy. And yes, financially, as far as the earth energy goes, you know, we have had lots of changes in the last 7 years since 2019. Yeah. Yes, Pluto's in Aquarius. Pluto will be in Aquarius for a long time. It's at 4 degrees and 52 minutes. So I haven't really discussed too much about, you know, the dark night of the soul, the shadow that Pluto brings to one's life when it is in challenging aspect with your chart, okay? But I am well aware I have Leo people around me and in my life and as clients, and you know, with everything going on, they've got their own struggles going on as well with what they're dealing with. Okay, so I have a lot of empathy for you guys, the Aquarians, the Leos, the Tauruses, and the Scorpios, and I am offering consultations. You do not have to do this on your own, and it can become a lot. I went through the conjunction of Pluto to my natal Sun, natal Mercury, in the last 14 years, 15 years, and, you know, I had to reach out for help myself. There's nowhere that says you have to do this on your own, okay? You can take guidance from others who have experienced this themselves, and I can actually read a chart and I can see what the process is going to be for your dark night of your soul, okay, and the growth that takes place for you, the maturity, okay. So the moon is in Capricorn today, 28 degrees, so it will be moving into Aquarius, Pisces, and we'll finish with that with the moon in Aries, because we will have the new moon at the late degrees of Pisces, and then it enters into Aries, all right? Activating the Saturn and the Neptune conjunction at 0 degrees, all right? So there's a lot happening, but it's in a very small sector of our charts. So let's focus on ourselves, not what's going on outside of ourselves, which we are powerless, by the way, to do anything about. Our power lies in our own individuation and our own work with ourselves. And by focusing there, we're actually raising the frequency, the vibration on planet Earth, because we're walking in the light rather than drowning in the shadow of what's going on outside of ourselves. So that's it. As I say, that's it. It's a lot. It's a lot. But with Mars coming along and activating so many degrees of previous placements, it will be an interesting week. But focus inwards. I want to also just remind it, I will put it in the description box. I have another channel, and I think I've made 3 videos there. Every Wednesday, I'm popping a video there. It's not astrology, numerology. It is about enlightenment, actually. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are enlightened. They're awake. They've been awake a long time. They've done the work. They've walked through the shadows, the dark night of the soul, and they're enlightened. Okay. So you may appreciate that if you regard yourself as an old soul, or if you believe that this could be your last incarnation because your soul has chosen that, or next to last incarnation. That platform, that channel will help a lot. If anything, to know that you're not alone. Okay. So that's it, everybody. I wish you a beautiful week. Keep your own energy. It's a beautiful thing to be in your own energy. And I'm doing it all this year. I've been in my own energy. I do not reach out for anybody's energy anymore. If people reach out to me, I respond. But I'm just doing me, and I'm so happy doing me. It's a beautiful thing. Once you have evolved past loneliness or aloneness and you do what's on your docket, wow, it's a beautiful peace and serenity. You are not mixing yourself up with other people's stuff. All right, but there's work. There's things you've got to do to get to that point. All right, and it's just, I encourage you. It's a wonderful thing to be in your own energy. And I'm going to actually make a video on the other channel regarding that. What does that mean to be in your own energy? I will discuss that on the other channel. Okay, so you're most welcome to pop over there and subscribe. I'm not advertising it. It's not something that, it's not entertainment. It's not like spiritual entertainment at all. It's serious. It's serious business. Awakening and evolving into enlightenment, like the Buddha, like the ascended masters did. We're no different. We have that opportunity with their help as well. All right, well, thank you. Namaste, and have a lovely week. I wish you all the best, okay? Pop a love heart in the comments box, just so others hopefully will get to see the video, and I'll keep you tuned on what other platforms I'm looking at. Okay, thanks, guys. Have a lovely weekend.